Coming up on this episode.
You have a flying rat following you.
18 to 20 feet tall if it was standing. Saigo sits at the table on the second floor of Diego's pond, penning a letter in Ard's magic envelope. It reads as follows. Phosphorus and Diego, I know at least one of you is a vengeful person, and while I disagree with the means you chose to enact your revenge, I wholeheartedly believe your vengeance is justified. The circular stone in Loklai's code of honor is structured in a way as to put everyone at the mercy of the high clans. Whether intentional or not, it matters little when there are clans like the Deepbeards who are more than happy to take advantage of such a system. I've been trying to change things for some time, so that what happened to the two of you can never happen again. Though the way things are now, change is unlikely to come, unless something drastic is done. So, would you like to help me in exiling the Deepbeard matriarch and disbanding her clan? In truth, that is but one of the many steps to bring reform to Loklai, but it is the riskiest step and the one I will need your assistance in completing. In short, I'm going to bait the Deepbeard matriarch into agreeing to a scarcely used tradition known as a trial of honor, one that sees the loser exiled and their clan disbanded. It is a public trial of combat, which most importantly, all the high clans will be in attendance for. My hope is that the two of you will assist me in this trial, two outsiders defeating the best of the Deepbeards for everyone to see. There's no better way to make my point that outsiders deserve more than what we give them, while at the same time removing my biggest roadblock, the Deepbeards. I'll leave you with 3 important details. First, your lives would not be in danger during the trial nor after. Second, this will not be happening anytime soon, at least a month or 2 from now at the earliest, and you would only be needed for a handful of days. Things are flexible enough that I can accommodate a time in which the two of you are available. And lastly, should you agree to help, I'll ensure you're rewarded handsomely, even if I fail. I hope to hear from you soon. Saigo Cloudbeard. Many days later, the party now prepares to find the third and final Sky Island. After setting up Hulak and the rest of the kobolds for success, the party returned to Outpost 1 where Phosphorus got to work learning spells and making elixirs to help them traverse the third island's watery depths. While with the kobolds, the party learned that Uchido had been taken to the boneyard. Though with little to be done about that, Penumbra is set to depart. We cut to myself explaining which day they'll be leaving on. So you guys would be leaving Outpost 1 on the 16th day of Last Bloom. The stretch, if you don't remember, you're going pretty much all the way east is where you need to go. It's 600 miles away from where you can start looking. Who wants to roll for a wind?
I'll do it.
Okay, it's spring, so 8 or higher and you have wind.
12.
Okay, so your movement speed is 50, I believe. So that's 120 miles a day. So I actually think that perfectly lines up to exactly 5 days, which I did not plan. But 600 divided by 120.
Yes.
Is it still really cold in the skies?
Yep, pretty much.
Well, we do have heating. We do have heating on the ship.
Yeah, correct. Cool. The ship is heated, so like, especially below deck, super solid. Above deck, it's a little because you just like can't account for just being out in the open air.
There's like heated spots
movements
you can go to, but
yeah, that's true. But on the 5th day of travel is when we'll do Biyula's sermon. Well, that's when it would be because you do worships on the last day of the week. If you guys don't remember, one of her stipulations was everyone, Diego and Phosphorus included, attend the sermon. So does anyone try to not be there or put up a fight about being there?
I don't remember this being a stipulation.
I think it's been a stipulation day one.
Yeah, one of the very first things she said about sermons is that she thought everyone should be there, and then even going up to it, she would also quantify.
She definitely said it to me. I do remember that.
So she's forcing her religion on all of us.
Yes.
No.
Correct.
She just wants everyone to be there.
To force her religion.
I mean, you don't know what her sermon's about. It could be that, but obviously
Confess.
it's not. So again, is anyone putting up a fight or
No.
not going?
No. What time of day is this happening?
It would be around a shift change, so we'll put it at 6 p.m. towards the end of the day.
Nothing significant that we were working on needed to be worked on during the first couple days of
Wow,
travel.
5 days of traveling. I guess that is a question. Is there anything you guys would like to do during that 5 days? That's a good place to start.
I would
My
just be
apologies.
praying to Grim every day.
Okay. Hello, GM Jack here. So I forgot to say in the downtime recap at the end of last episode that in light of all the Uchido stuff going on, Diego started praying to Grim. He has a black butterfly pendant that was originally Uchido's, which he holds while trying to reach out to Grim, with the main focus of his prayers being keeping Uchido safe and trying to figure out what's going on with her disappearance. He has yet to hear anything back or really have anything of note happen regarding his prayers. Now back to the action. Keep reminding me of that, but I'm not going to have you roll things. I will say I'll be doing things behind the scenes. The GM screen, if you say.
I've got to be splitting between the lycanthropy, communicate, whatever that vial was that has like all like the android stuff on it.
Yeah, you technically have 6 of those. 5 of them for Zolgath Gut Ragers and 1 of them for Thought Maw.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make the communication tablet.
I would help.
Communication tablet.
I would help him with that because I have the
Codex.
codex and my
Yep.
eyes.
And I would
Zoom.
start another project that I had a lot less time on, but I'd
Okay.
be trying to figure out how to infuse Blightburn with magic.
Infuse.
I'm trying to make a spell. I'm trying to learn a spell.
What is the spell?
Blightburn. Blightburn Blast.
Okay, cool. Words. That
Blast.
telling me what you're trying to get to helps me with that a lot.
Yeah.
I would like to be. You have a bunch of like religious texts with you, correct?
Yeah.
I
Actually,
will-
I did give my book away. I did give it to the kobolds.
You
I'd probably
gave
be
your
like,
not
I'd probably be like,
Sansemel, your
Well.
Tezzetio's book away.
I'd probably be rewriting.
Oh yeah,
I'd
there was
probably-
one other thing, and I totally forgot about it. I would have given what the fuck is her name,
Hulak
Hulak. I would have given her one of my books
of like the world.
of like this, just
stories.
random
Not to
stories and stuff.
retroactively do this, but do you think it would have been enough time that we could have just written out a copy for them?
For sure.
Okay, yeah, because that way I'm like, because I was like, I'll just rewrite my own. I'm like, why did I not just give them a copy?
Yeah,
as opposed
for
to like
sure.
my own personal one. Probably
I
has
mean,
the
to
name
be honest
Rennister
with you-
engraved on it and stuff.
Biyula or Wellerweck probably had a copy they could have given too. You know what I
that's
mean?
fair. Yeah.
Are the only religious books we have on board Tezzetio's?
You would have at least have some of Lady Lore and Stone Mother Leno as well, because those are the 2 Wellenweck worship. Biyula probably has some basic, like a book about all the divines in general, just like a general knowledge book. As I would also, maybe you do as well. One of your things in your room specifically is like a bookshelf with books and stuff.
Because my thought was just studying up more on, in general, as many divine
Yeah,
things
the
to learn
10
as I could.
Divines.
For flavor text, I would say that Rennister is clearly, it's kind of like a sheltered, like homeschooler who just held hands with a girl for the first time sort of thing, where like it's kind of like being coy and shy about it.
Yeah.
But it's very obvious that like something's been happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I would feel confident saying that at least everyone in the party is probably pretty
Oh,
aware.
everyone's aware.
Yeah.
I want it to be fully understood that like even like Archie is like, yeah, no, they're fucking.
Yeah. Okay, now back to Biyula's sermon. So everyone is there for the sermon, including Magnus, because it's just less hassle for him to not fight it and just be there as well.
They actually waited for him to eat before everyone like ran in,
What?
just so he's in the room.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Cool.
I do like to believe that Phosphorus is tied to a chair.
I'm in like I'm on the back of the room.
Cool. So up front, Biyula would have said that she just kind of wants to like do it all herself, if that's cool with you, which I think is kind of just like,
Take it up with the worship team. They
Expected.
love to play every week.
I mean, you're the head of the worship team, so that's why she's
Let
asking.
me talk to him.
Yeah.
He says it's fine.
Yeah, it's just well and wick. So in the common area in the ship on the lower deck, kind of in front of where Baptiste cooks, Baptiste would just have like pre-made a dinner for everyone, just like a nice stew. Everyone's sitting at those tables. Biyula has 4 chairs up in front of that counter, each one of them with a slip of paper with one of Sansemel's chosen written on it, Ursine, Tazame, Hrutel, and Akich. And she says, "Hello, everyone. I am running sermon. This running worship, this at the end of this week, today. So I just wanted to start with a quick rundown of what I wanted to do. Sansemel, maybe more than most other divines, is kind of represented by their chosen. So today, I kind of wanted to go through a thought exercise based on those 4 chosen with everyone. She kind of just like motions and then says all the names of the chosen. There's Ursine, Tazame, Hrutel, and Akich. I'll give everyone a rundown of each of them, and then I'll ask you to stand by the chair marked with the chosen you feel best represents you. She kind of motions to everyone. I'll then ask you to explain why you chose your chair. There are no right or wrong answers. I just thought it would be a good way to get everyone kind of thinking. So, does that make sense? She just kind of says.
Yes, thank you.
Diego is clearly spacing off, his legs bouncing the entire time.
I like kick his chair.
Hello?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Sansemel.
Yes. So the first of Sansemel's chosen is Ursine. They're known as Sansemel's book. They're all about logic and study, that an analytical mind is a valuable tool to wield and maintain. They also put a strong emphasis on the documentation and publication of knowledge so that you can learn from those who came before you, and those who come after you can do the same with you. Then there's Tazame, also known as Sansemel's desk. They're all about confidence and belief, that believing in yourself and your work can get you through almost anything. They put a strong emphasis on community, that working with others is where knowledge truly blossoms, and that the work you can do as an individual will never really match up to the work you can do as a team. Then there's Hrutel, also known as Sansemel's spectacles. They're all about patience and empathy, that there is immense wisdom in the world around you if you only take the time to listen and learn from it. They also put a strong emphasis on getting out and doing field work of all kinds. That much can be learned by talking to those in a city tavern, or studying how the wind whips through the leaves of a tree, or watching a bird flutter back to its nest with a mouth full of twigs. And then lastly, there's Akich, which is also known as Sansemel's satchel. They're all about curiosity and creativity, that a thirst for knowledge is all it takes to set down the path of a scholar, and that thinking outside the box is critical to walking that path. They also put a strong emphasis on the unknown, that you might never find the answer to some questions, but that just makes those questions all the more important to ask. So those are the 4 chosen. Any questions before I ask you to stand by the chair?
Not in game. I know that the 4 chosen are based off the 4 schools of magic, right? Or not schools of magic, but
I mean, they roughly line up with a arcane, divine, primal, and occult caster.
And Akich was arcane, correct?
Nope,
That's
occult.
okay. And then first one got it.
Yep, the one all about logic and critical thinking.
Which one's the desk? What's their name?
Tazame.
Tazame. It's even close to Tazetios. Not at all, but sort of.
They both start with a T and have a Z
TZ
in it.
it.
Yeah.
And have desks.
So no
Can I just get the names real quick again?
Ursine, or Sansemel's book, Ersine. Tazame, or Sansemel's desk, Tazame. Hrutel, or Sansemel's spectacles, Hrutel. And then Akich, or Sansemel's satchel, Akkich. But yeah, so if there's no in-game questions, she would just say, okay, so now, yes, Aimon.
It is in game, but not voiced by Aimon. How does the rest of the room look
Okay, cool.
at this activity? Like what? I mean, I can kind of guess what the party's reactions are.
I mean,
but do people seem into it?
Varying
Not into
levels of investment. Obviously, probably all of the worship team is the most interested, just because like
Hell yeah.
it's kind of nice to have someone else do a take on it. Once people hear that it's like participatory, most people are pretty like, maybe not like sitting on the edge of their seat, but they like at least listen to what she had to say decently. The only exception to that might be Magnus a little bit, who clearly doesn't like, he's not super He's not listening very hard. He's just like, I'm just here because it's easier to be here than to not be here.
Sure. Just didn't know if anyone was like more into it than maybe I thought they'd be, or if everyone's kind of on the same page. We're good.
I would say Archie, but he might not be more into it than you thought he'd be, because pretty much ever since he gained like sentience, we'll call it. Yeah. He just like, learning about stuff is kind of, he enjoys that a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
But so anyone, you guys can just go.
I would probably like be the first to stand up.
Okay,
just to show like, this was all my idea. So I want to show most enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I'd go over to the chair that has Tazame.
Okay.
I would get up and go to Akich.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Ursine, but I'm also going to do the silent spell. I'm going to cast, what's the name of it? It's the vision. True-Sing.
Oh, gotcha. You're doing subtle spell to cast True-Sing.
Yep.
Roll deception. So Phosphorus is attempting to cast a spell without anyone knowing he's casting a spell.
Would my detect magic get it?
Oh, yeah. 21.
That does beat everyone's perception. Aimon, you'd probably just see a quick flash of magic visually.
And
from
I'll
Phosphorus.
say, since you know the spell, you see like a light in my eye, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
You've
I
been
have
around enough.
True-Seeing.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can probably tell it's just True-Sing. Nothing looks different.
Last for 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
It's good to know.
So Renisteer is at Tazame. Aimon is at Akich. Phosphorus is at
Ursine.
Ursine.
Ursine, whatever.
It doesn't matter. Diego.
Magnus, what was the third one she said?
I'm going to roll for Magnus.
This is perfect because in game and out of game, I was not listening.
Yeah. He says
There was 3.
Hrutel. Hrutel.
Cool. That's the one I go to.
Okay, cool. So you actually go to all 4 of them. You guys split evenly. I'll tell you where everyone else goes. And if you don't remember, you have to explain why you picked your thing. And the crew will as well. Also by Ursine, Phosphorus, is Biyula and Archie. Also by Tazame, Renisteer is Well and Weck and Dreaming Snow.
Hell yeah. The dream team.
Also by Hrutel, Diego is Baptiste and Thress. And then also by Akich, Aimon is Gil and Magnus.
Did Biyula pick one?
Yeah, she's by Ursine.
Okay.
Biyula, so everyone's kind of standing by their chairs, and she says, I'll go first. As much as I try to embody all 4 of Sansemel's chosen, I've always resonated with Ursine the most. My mind is the part of myself I value the most, she says, and then kind of just like looks to Archie. So we'll just go down the line. Archie says, continuing Zenode's work means a lot to me. And I hope that someday the stuff we do, as he kind of like looks to Diego, Aimon, and Biyula, because you're kind of the 4 that help with the research stuff, that work will be felt the same way about someone else, he says. And then he looks to you, Phosphorus.
Ursine is the one that represents arcane magic.
Biyula says, awesome. Next is Tazame, and she'll look to you first, Renisteer.
Well, I would say based off of how you can see me in battle, or whether it be on the ship, that the group is always what is on my mind. That dynamic really does resonate with me, of the fact that any of my strengths I can help with others, and any weaknesses are covered by those around me.
Who you want to go next, Well or Weck or Dreaming Snow? They're the other 3 by your chair.
Dreaming Snow.
Yeah. Dreaming Snow says, I have learned most of what I know from working with and being taught by others. And she smiles at Well and Weck, and they say, well, we were exiled for unwillingness to change our beliefs. So, and then Well says that, and Weck says, yeah, kind of self-explanatory. And then Hrutel, they'll look to you, Diego.
Well, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory why I'm here. I mean, seriously. Next.
Okay. Do you look to Baptiste or Thress?
Baptiste. Thress scares me.
Okay. Baptiste says, A cook hones their craft in a kitchen, not in a cookbook. And he doesn't really look to Thress, but Thress just like waits a bit, and she just nods and says, the wisdom of past hunts is what makes a skilled hunter, she says.
That's the least word count out of all of the people that they
Correct,
chose.
yep, pretty straightforward.
She's contesting with Phosphorus.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean,
no.
as a collective.
Yeah,
all three of
that
them.
chair is
Yeah, our
the
group
least-
was really quick.
Yeah, and it is the one all about going out and interacting with the world as well, which is
We're
funny.
not talkers, we're doers.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of what it's about. But Agich is next. Gil will just take the initiative. He says, "Well, if I learned anything from my time in the Anarchic Expanse, it's that things are rarely straightforward and simple." He just says, and then without even missing a beat, Magnus just says, "This is the one I disliked the least." And then he looks to you. He looks to you, Aimon.
Well, out of game, I thought this was the one that was like the unknown. And all that stuff.
Yep.
Okay. But he said like straightforward and
He said that things are rarely straightforward and
rarely.
simple.
I thought he said really.
No, rarely.
Like really straightforward.
no,
And I was like,
rarely.
thing is, nothing is straightforward out there.
I like
Yeah.
things I can shoot in the head.
Yeah, you're correct. You're at the one that's all about the unknown.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I thought.
curiosity, creativity, all that.
I had the panic of like, am I in the wrong classroom?
yeah, for sure.
I think I would really like the world to be less unknown than it is right now to me, I suppose. Well, there's times when it's fun and adventurous to go find what's out there. And there's times where it's frightening and frustrating. And in a world that feels like there's not much in my control anyhow, being able to at least control a few things in it is some comfort. But that just hasn't been my path so far. And so I've had to make a choice to either resist it or to go with it. And I think this is what I'm attempting to go with in life, towards the unknown and towards a possibility rather than trying to rein things in on my own. I brought our word count up enough so that the other people can have the...
Biyula says, it's well said. Follow up. Does anyone think someone's by the wrong chair? She just says to the group.
I mean, I'm not going to name names, and I just kind of look at Thress. I'm just kidding.
Thress looks at you and says, can you explain further why you're here?
Get him, babe.
Do you say that?
Yep.
Cool. Well, that was weird. I don't know. I do honestly think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think as of now, you've all kind of heard my backstory. I mean, that's literally what I did before I met these guys, so.
Makes sense.
Does everyone know about your backstory? Yeah, on the crew by now?
Well, I would think so. I talk a lot.
Dreaming Snow really knows it. She has tea with you every day.
Plus, you had that whole arc
Thress,
of-
you might actually not know. I talk to you very little.
I get bits and pieces.
Plus, there was
Renestier.
that whole arc of you being drunk and you'd like wail it on the deck and all that.
You also pretty avidly were against the institutional education in Wakuzana.
Yeah.
You were all about finding it out on your own.
Oh, yeah. Still am.
Anything else? Anyone disagree with where someone is out of the party?
I don't know.
I feel like it'd be bad look for the guy who's trying to get everyone more religiously involved to just be like, you fucking lying, man.
Magnus,
Yeah.
why was this one you disliked the least? Or what did you dislike about the other ones, if you don't mind sharing?
He says, I don't know. The other one's just, look, no offense. I don't put much faith in anything other than what I know I'm capable of. And that kind of just leads me down the route of everything else is kind of an unknown, which is, yeah.
I think you belong in this chair.
I'm not going to lie. I did not listen to that one. He says about Hrutel. But he says, why?
You don't really, like Aimon said, I feel like I belong here because I don't like institutions. And I believe it's, I think there are a lot of people who get into groupthink and believe certain ways and get stuck in their ways and.
Yeah, I guess my whole thing is kind of anti one specific institution.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're evil, though.
It's
Biyula
pretty
would say-
easy to be anti that institution in
Mhm.
particular.
Biyula would say, just to clarify, Hrutel is not anti-establishment particularly. It's just about like getting out there and
Oh,
doing
they will
stuff.
be now.
It's not. She says just
We're starting a movement.
totally to everyone.
Biyula,
Yes.
can you explain a bit? I mean, GM Jack, you can tell me if this is just so obvious that I shouldn't even say it.
Okay.
Would everybody know why they are described as various items belonging to Sansemel?
Why the Chosen are?
Yes.
Uh,
Is that so obvious that it doesn't need explaining? Because if it,
what? So
I would want her to explain that to people. Like, why does it
Yeah.
spectacles and the other
She
divines don't
was-
typically describe their chosen that way?
yeah. So the Chosen are items. Most other Chosen, I think, except for the old one, is kind of an exception too. They're personified as some kind of sentient being most of the time. Specifically, I don't know why specifically the Chosen are items per se, but they're all an item that is said to have been used by Sansemel. The desk is where Sansemel sits. The book is Sansemel's book, used for magic and many other things. The spectacles are worn by Sansemel, and then the satchel or pack is Sansemel's pack. There's a lot of debate in Sansemel circles whether they're just items, they're sentient items, it's all a front for something else. Something I didn't really bring up because I didn't think it was pertinent, but could play into this is it's commonly held as a belief that if you find out who Sansemel is, whether that be their name or their true identity, you take Sansemel's place, though by nature it's kind of unknown if that has happened or if that's even true. I guess I should explain Sansemel is what's the word for when it's a jumbled up word? Is that an anagram?
Anagram.
Yes.
Sansemel is an anagram for nameless. So, does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? In that conversation, Gil would have moved over to Hrutel.
You know
to
what?
that
I
straight-
hate the establishment also.
Oh, sorry, not Gil, Magnus.
Oh, it's just me and Gil
I'm
over
sorry.
here.
Yeah. The two anarchic expanse boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else to comment before Biyula wraps up the sermon?
So is this all about Sansemel? This one?
Yes.
Is that how this works?
Yes.
Just now ask.
Well, I assume this is the first one since the one everyone is at in the very beginning that Diego's been to.
Yeah.
You'd know if you came every week. That's all I'm saying.
True. I'd also know now that I've been told. So thank you,
Yeah.
Biyula.
Yeah. Well, I just hope, got everyone thinking. She just says, like with a fist bump.
Thank you.
I started clapping. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Diego leaves.
Cool. So does Magnus.
Phosphorus has been gone.
No, I've been there the whole time.
Why the fuck did you do True Sight?
He's had it for a while. He casted it during all the interviews, remember?
No, I'm not asking when he got it.
Oh, why
he
did
did
it. Oh,
it.
gotcha.
Because anything with Sansemel, I get very paranoid about.
Yeah.
That should be
I'm not gonna
extremely
lie,
obvious.
It would kind of be funny, and it would kind of be up my GM alley to just like have an invisible Sansemel be sitting in the corner of this talk or something.
Yeah, or just one
Or
of the
this-
chairs was Sansemel
Yeah.
just sitting in a chair position.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that would kind of close things up. The next person slated for when there is a crew one, we probably won't do it right away next time, right away next week, or maybe we will. It all depends on kind of like role play wise what lines up to play is Gil. He's also the only other one that has signed up to do it of the crew.
Which god is his again?
Anyhow,
Oh,
he has a specific focus on Chosen. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot that we
Yeah.
didn't talk about my lantern in front of him
name
for a
painting
reason.
lantern.
I see the sign-up sheet on the wall and turn to Gil and say, you think you're going to top that next week?
Nope.
Do you have anything planned?
Yep. It's not as involved though. Show.
Okay.
I kind of thought we just talked, so I'm just planning on getting up there and talking.
I like the sound of your voice, so it'll be great.
Thank you. Well,
You guys are
Just an
both
empty room
standing
with
by
4
the chair.
chairs. Yeah.
The unknown, eh?
I will say, I don't know, because this was like after we'd already been traveling, right?
yeah, this is 5 days in.
I've meant to say this. I totally blanked on it. Something I would be doing now with my prayers, because I feel like I'm making the same mistake with the platinum woman. When I pray now, I kind of just like not acknowledging her. I just
Gotcha.
When I pray now, I will sit on my knees, hand in hand with her.
Oh, like she's across from you?
Yes.
Like manifestor. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
As this service kind of comes to an end, I get some more of Baptiste coffee. He makes coffee, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
I mean,
coffee.
you guys pay him, he'll make whatever you want him
Perfect.
to make.
He just tells me it's coffee. It's not coffee, but Aimon doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's just more stew.
It's just
Well,
water.
It's just
Stew in a
tea
mug.
that he like darkens.
Yeah, really strong tea.
Yeah.
I bring a cup over to Renister. Say, hey,
Hey, good to see you this morning.
good to see you too. Good to see you too.
6 p.m.
Good to see you this evening.
Man, they flew right by.
Man, time flies when you're having fun, eh?
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down and be like, have a seat, if you want. You have somewhere
Isn't
you have to go right
Isn't
now?
this one of the Chosen's chair?
One of the Chosen's chair.
You will take the names off.
Take the sticky note off.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how to piss off other people's Chosen. I don't really want to start that shit. I think I've already pissed up enough trees with other divines.
Fair.
So yeah, I'll take a seat.
I take a sip. And I'm like, so, it seemed to be going well. Biyula showed out with even like a participatory activity for everyone. That was great.
Yeah, I think it's got the people energized, you know?
Maybe they'll be talking about us afterwards over dinner, you know?
I don't know that it
don't
changed
know.
too many minds. That's not anything against Biyula by any means. I think it's just there are definitely people here who are open-minded.
Yeah.
Then there's Magnus. So, there's kind of the two sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think it'll just change something happening for him in real time to actually get anything that I don't think he needs to change. But
Well,
if change were to come, I think it would come in a fiery blaze.
Like the corrosion of rocks, it takes many droplets of water to do so. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Does your mind or heart change quickly at all? Or is that something, it's the same kind of way? It takes a long time.
me personally,
Yeah.
I think it
I
depends.
mean, you've gone through some changes since I've known you, but
I
seem to
wouldn't
kind of be around the
s-
same foundation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes a lot to fundamentally change the core of a person, but I think that how you approach that core of a person can certainly shift over time. Back in Wakuzana, I thought it was being so devout that I lost sight of everything else, and now I realize that part of my worship is incorporating the people around me in my practice in preaching. So,
Well, I say that because something seems to have changed a little bit about the way you are recently. Not for worse, I would say. You just seem to be a little more energized, or I mean, not that you're the most socially masterful person as it is, but it seems to be a little. Just something seems different. Is everything good?
yeah, I'm like kind of like talon tapping on my coffee mug. Like things are great. They're great. If I had the ability to do so, I'd probably be blushing.
I look you up and down and just kind of smirk. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And I take my mug and stand up and I kind of pat your shoulder and walk away.
Whoa, wait.
What?
Sit. I have questions for you as well.
Sure.
I know you were on kind of, a lot happened with the, deprogramming a bunch of people who were born into a cult. But I know before we had talked that you were kind of on a spiritual journey of your own. And, I know that started in Wakuzana, but have you made progress in that? Have you felt closer to the old one?
Sort of. I think part of the comfort of the old, I mean, obviously all divines are fairly old compared to you and I, but there's kind of a steadfastness that comes with something that feels so ancient and so unchanging, I suppose. I don't know. It's not quite the same. There's not a lot of texts or commandments or anything like that to go off of, which I kind of like in a way, but it also leaves me sometimes feeling like I'm grasping at the wind, unironically.
I could see that. From what you've told me, the old one seems not as straightforward at times, as far as, not having a book spelling things out, or having people just, well, in my case, literally walk on our ship and be like, hey, you're doing a good job. But I don't necessarily mean that's a good or bad thing. I think that's perfect for me, because anything past the straightforward, I get kind of lost. Yeah. So, but you have always had more of an inquisitive and thoughtfulness to you. So maybe that is something that the old one has latched onto, is helping you kind of unlock these puzzles.
I think I could use a little more of, I don't know what divine it would be at this point, but something with a little more direct hope attached to it, if that makes sense. Just with the years of, helping out people that are on hard times on the run, and then realizing it again with these kobolds on the last island. I like the idea that the old one is ancient and supposedly wise and not in a hurry, and all these things that are in general comforting. But I think having some sort of divine around or presence around that actually points to some kind of hope would be helpful. It's been hard to not let the various stories I hear and things I've seen, I wouldn't say I'm cynical, but at times in my dark moments things can turn that way, and having a divine presence with actual words attached to it, or actual messages of goodness attached to it, might be something that I need. I don't know. I don't want to just go into something because of what I can get out of it, but it's been tough not to let certain stories of certain families and people I've met kind of get to me, and recently with the kobolds I kind of brought a lot of that back.
That's fair. I will say, I know from being around me, you've seen someone who has devoted themselves to one divine and he's chosen. But if we have the embodying examples of, in Wek, that it's not necessary to always just devote yourself to one divine, and maybe there's some wisdom in getting a second opinion from a different group of divines and chosen. And honestly, have you talked to Well and Wek?
I think it was watched me have a pretty profound religious experience, but we didn't talk much about it because I kind of passed out on the way home.
You were overwhelmed for the first time ever, so he's kind of like,
I would love to talk to them more about it. And I think, I was making through things relatively okay without a religion in this world. I don't think it's necessary. There's lots of hope to be found other places. I just think I've interacted with so many stories, good, bad, and in between, that I don't know, maybe at some point I might need something that's kind of not above all those things, but staying steady throughout all those things. That is good regardless of the times, that is good regardless of the circumstance, and having something like that to kind of look to, or at least keep in the back of my mind when times get tough, could be perhaps helpful.
Well, there's definitely plenty of paths to walk down. The only thing that I would advise against is to just be wary of those who are more morally ambiguous. Some of them can give promises of more direct power and knowledge and stuff like that, and I don't think it goes. I think it goes without saying that you wouldn't go for the more extreme ones, but even some of the more neutral ones can be quite tricky, we'll say.
Yeah, not even looking for power.
They might give you what you seek most, but expect a lot in return.
No,
I
think what I seek is just an example of selflessness, in a way. And not that I don't have those here in the mortal plane, but that's what I've been interested in the divines. They all seem to have some kind of function, and but just to have one that has nothing to do with the amount of power or the amount of influence or anything like that, just one that embodies the good things of this world and is kind of championing them. And some claim that, and I'm sure they're true, but you meet people that practice various things that don't exemplify those. But I don't know, I'm getting in the weeds.
Well,
I'm just kind of learning all this
Well,
for the first time. So
I think that is ultimately what drew me to Zetzios to begin with. I mean, obviously dying has its direct correlation, but even before that I followed Zetzios, not as closely, of course, but power in the world is simultaneously very sparse amongst people, but it's not something that's uncommon to find, whether it be the wild beasts of great power or legendary beings. What fascinates me most about them is that they can wield such strength and power and still find it in themselves to use that to help those who are without. But that's where I started my steps, and that's maybe a different journey for you that ends up with a different end place. But
I would love to learn more, because it seems like, at least from my initial thoughts of Zetzios, is I mean, I'm sure they're both simultaneously true, but maybe it's just not trying to be a pacifist about the whole thing, but not someone that's so strongly, I mean, I know you have to be anti-something in order to be for something else, but it's less of anti-corruption and anti-evil. I mean, that is obviously a big piece of who I am and what I want, but someone that maybe the first rung on the ladder is for something good. And I'm sure maybe that is Zetzios, maybe that's just what I've seen exemplified in other places or talked about more, but that's what I'm hoping to feel out and find out.
The other thing to consider is that your journey with the divines will be different than many others, because I can tell you from what I've heard, there are even those who follow Zetzios who do so in a way that is not how I would envision things. There's plenty of people in Zetzios' following who would want me dead, for a matter of fact. They consider my life to be a corruption.
Yeah.
But
I just think the divines are getting so close, much closer than I've ever felt them to any of us. And if that is
more
going
the
to,
reverse, it seems.
Well, not even close. I just mean like having to do with things in our lives far more than has been obvious before. And if that's going to be the case, I want to be able to find the ones that I perhaps want something to do with, as opposed to the ones I want nothing to do with.
Sure. I mean, honestly, too, we don't know about it. As a religious man, it is very jarring to hear that there are things that may have created my God, or are even older than him. But who knows? Maybe the one you seek is not listed in the 10.
Yeah, it was something I used to be able to ignore, and it's getting harder and harder to do that, so I just figured I'd get ahead of the curve. But anyway, thank you. I didn't realize how much I needed this, but I mostly just wanted to ask about you, but thank you for inquiring about me too.
Don't forget it's a two-way street. I know these things can feel very isolating, considering it can be a different journey that you're on, but even similar paths can have some sort of solidarity, even if the end goal is different or the overall experience is unique to you. But
yeah, I've learned more about Zetzios through you than I ever could through reading about him. So
that is probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me. That is what I try to aspire to be, is a living embodiment of those virtues. So if I am showing such things, then I'm doing my job.
I think the Chosen was right in what she told you. You're on the right path.
I appreciate that greatly, Aimon.
Anyway, I think I'm noon to midnight, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm supposed to be working. So I should probably get...
That's fair.
So I take my coffee and hurry off to my office where I'm doing really important things, doctor things.
I have a question, just so I'm aware moving forward. Is the crew aware of the Uchido situation?
Do they know Uchido at all?
Yeah, they don't really know her, so I would guess no.
Okay. Cool.
Unless
just
any of
wanted
them
to-
knew her personally, I would say.
I mean, none of them did. I just wanted to be clear so I didn't like cross wires and have one of them be like,
I think if we talk
Where's-
about it
who'd she
in game openly, I don't really care if they hear it necessarily. But
I think the only time
Unless
they
that's
may have
actually
met, or
happened.
did she see us off?
correct. Yep. She made you all
That'd probably
lunch
be the
and gave
only
you flying
time that they
potions.
would have even seen her.
Okay. Phosphorus. After all that settles down. Dreaming Snow's technically just getting off, but she comes and finds you. Where
Okay.
you just in
I'm probably in the engine room, yeah.
She says, hello?
Hi.
You and Diego are close?
Of a sort, yes.
Is he okay?
In what regards?
Something is wrong. He's not. Well, in many ways, he is as he normally is. But I feel like more than used to be the case, he is trying to be how he normally is. Did something happen?
Do they all know about the thing in the back?
Yeah, I mean, they can see it,
Okay.
so probably.
I think you're more observant than I am.
But she does talk to him for
I think you care a lot more than I do.
probably 30 minutes every day.
That was the kind way of putting it. I think he's fine, but
You don't need to tell me, but I think someone should talk to him. And I don't think that can be me.
all right.
And maybe I'm wrong.
Better decide on the side of caution. Err on the side of caution.
Better to side with caution.
Yep.
But yeah, she would just say that and then go because she's off. Yep.
As soon as she turns around, I'm going to cast... I'm feeling very paranoid today.
Okay.
Cast fireball.
No, I'm going to cast True Sing again.
Okay. It is Dreaming Snow.
Okay. Is mango?
Yeah. Yes, mango is mango.
And just because, like, I don't know how often I've actually cast a spell, I'm just going to take a look around the engine room before I go.
You probably do. Okay, yeah, for sure.
Does everything look fine? Nothing out of place?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. All the ruins that would disintegrate invisible things are still there. No piles of ashes.
Yeah, good. Good.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm going to go Diego.
Okay.
You know, this probably should be Aimon.
He's working. She's just up deck, or you're on shift. Or what would
Yes,
you be?
move that thing.
Just say
No one's there.
Yeah. So Archie
He's talking
is
to the
just keeping
dinosaur.
watch. Yeah. Just-
I figure he's talking to the invisible servants.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that actually
Oh,
makes
yes,
sense.
that's who I was talking to.
You just didn't know they were there.
He's staring off into the distance.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
It is.
What time is it?
Evening. So the sun is like beginning to set. Pretty breezy and cool. The wind is at your back.
Where are you at on the ship?
I'm just up deck.
Okay.
Just doing my captain thing.
I'll walk up to you. So, I was approached by Dreaming Snow.
Oh, yes?
She thinks that something might be off with you.
What? That's ridiculous.
I'm just gonna stare at you.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Like, she thinks you're trying to like act differently. You're trying to cover up something, maybe.
That's ridiculous. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you're deflecting like normal.
Yes, on brand.
I know. I still have True Vision.
Yeah, it's Diego.
I'm
right?
not Diego.
Oh, because True Vision can also see like I guess it's more detect magic.
Nothing seems off with True Seeing
Okay.
about him.
I'm weeping openly.
Also, to peel back the curtain, do you think I'm normally kind of weird about rolls against other players and whatnot? To peel back the curtain, because it wasn't actually explicitly said, what Dreaming Snow is referring to is something off about him, like probably emotionally, and you're probably smart enough to connect that she's probably referring to, I mean, I would assume, you said this during downtime, that you are not as, or at least you would be noticeably off with everything that's going on with Uchido in a very small way, probably. Maybe in only a way that someone who interacts with you, like Dreaming Snow does on a daily basis, would pick up out of the crew.
My real friends.
Correct. I'm also very bad with social.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, for autism.
I didn't bring that up because I thought this was going poorly. I just realized that had never been vocalized since last downtime, so I just wanted to vocalize it. But yeah, sorry. I was saying he visually with True Seeing seems fine. And you are deflecting like normal.
Yeah, I mean, I think this conversation is going exactly how a conversation between Phosphorus and Diego would go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anything else?
So everything's good?
Yes, of course. Definitely haven't even made eye contact with him in the entire time.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You want to look to your left and down a little bit?
Is that where you are? I look left and down briefly and then look away. Anywho, how's the engine?
It's fine.
Oh, don't forget to pick up that thing.
I can actually see them. Is he pointing at any of them?
No, absolutely
what?
not.
I can actually see the invisible servants.
Oh yeah, no, there's probably not one.
What do they look like?
Vague humanoids. They don't have any details. It's just like probably like a medium humanoid, like probably the build of just like an average human.
So, it's normal you haven't looked at me at all?
You're icky.
Not really.
Yes.
Actually, my fur is actually kind of clean right now.
Have you seen you?
Yes.
Anyway, this conversation has been very productive. I have to get back onto my job duties now.
All right. I don't move.
I move 3 steps to the right.
Okay, cool.
I'm for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna sit here and just watch you.
Do you do anything, Diego?
I have to use the restroom. I run down deck.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sulfur is gonna come off my arm.
I mean, I would literally just go probably pee somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
If Sulfur's gonna come off my arm, I'm just gonna say, keep an eye on him.
Okay. Sure
This
thing,
is-
boss.
This is not a job for me.
Where is our bathroom?
The side of the ship.
Yeah, buckets that get thrown overboard.
Yeah, but like what?
Wherever you want.
Do you just go to his room and pee in a bucket?
Yeah.
I
You guys don't have a designated bathroom. Each room would just.
I'd assume I would have made something.
We need to get one.
Yeah,
installed.
sure.
It's just piping that goes off the side of the ship.
Okay, cool.
I have a hole in the doctor's office for other body fluids too.
Yeah, that's actually probably true. Okay.
I would say obviously you would see Sulfur just follow you.
I never liked that guy.
Would I happen to see him?
Phosphorus or sulfur?
Sulfur.
Okay.
Would I happen to see Diego and Sulfur like
Yeah, for sure. You're
go
on
by
shift
my
with
room?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I for some reason.
Why are you in your room? You're on shift.
My office? Sorry.
Okay.
I was picturing. I forgot that he's still just a normal sized rat, and you have to choose to make him look big. Because I was picturing
you're-
just a full naked rat, like running after
no,
Diego.
Yeah. He is like actually tiny rat.
I like roll my chair over to the door and like tip my head out because I have a rolly chair that exists in this
Actually,
world.
you would see Sulfur like fly by the door.
I say, Diego,
Forgot he had wings.
you have a flying rat following you.
I know.
Do you want to come in here for a moment and shut the door so it can't do whatever it's going to do to you?
Well, I don't think it. Unless
What?
I hop through the door. I shut it real
Close it.
quick.
I would like to point out rats can collapse their ribcage to fit in through very small areas.
Sulfur, please don't.
You would just see like the head of Sulfur. Just
I would
start
I would just kick him through.
Okay.
Just
Yeah. He'll just wait on the outside.
While we're here, can I do that checkup we were talking about with all your new stuff?
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Have a seat on that table, please.
Mhm.
So, how we feeling?
No
I'm
gown.
like feeling your neck.
Great. Just fantastic.
So pretty bad.
So great.
Are you in pain?
Oh, yeah, no. No.
Diego, why are you being so weird, man? So everyone's being so weird, and I think it's for a very different reason. Than
What are you
Renester's
talking
being
about?
weird.
I'm cool.
You're cool, but
I'm
weird.
hip.
Yeah. Weird kids are hip now. It's a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it. Really missed the boat on that one.
You're deflecting so well, which you normally do, I suppose. I go and I check something off on a clipboard I have, writing down.
What?
So any weird dreams? Any more voices? Anything of that nature?
The voice only comes to me when I go looking for it now.
Do you ever go looking for it?
I mean, no, because it just says the same thing.
Which was?
Basically something along the lines of like codex not functioning, fix it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's that.
Yeah, it just keeps telling me to fix it.
Have you drank again at all?
Tea?
Any alcohol?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. Sometimes traumatic events can put you back towards something that you didn't quite want.
It's true, but I also have medicine that just cures it now. So it's a really weird dynamic.
That now you're addicted to medicine as opposed to
Well, yes.
alcohol. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's okay to be feeling weird about things, whether it be what's in your neck now or things outside of that. But you are not obligated to talk to me about any of that. Just want to make sure all is good.
Yep.
Sulfur is probably gone by now. So
I doubt it. I mean, legitimately, I doubt it. So
okay. Well, how would you like to kill time? Do you have tea on you?
Literally always.
I scoot my desk over.
Fair enough.
Well,
Well, when you do leave, Sulfur is on the wall waiting.
I just open my top hat and I'm like, all right, Sulfur, come on.
Is this a trick to have like Gale beat his ass or something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he'll go in
It's like
there.
a play date.
Yeah,
I don't
he'll go
know.
in there.
And
Yeah.
shut him in there. I don't know. He's
Cool.
shut in my top hat now, which is metal. So
True.
I'll lean out the door. I
if
say,
you question where Sulfur is, that's, I don't know.
we'll do this again in 3 days.
All
Unless something
right.
bad happens to you before that.
You say that like Sulfur can't open it from the inside out.
Before we get into looking for the island.
Sorry, I was thinking of something.
Word.
Has Biyula, speaking of, because it came up during the sermon, has she made any, have we as a team made any like leaps and bounds in Zenode's work or anything like that, like compiling things? Or is that kind of been a,
yes.
'cause I feel
and
like
also like all
that-
of the new stuff you guys has found. Like you technically found a new version of Blightburn. You found something that has never been documented before, which is, if you don't remember, presumably the Genesis system is what it was called. I think it was, I forget if it was Genesis something. I think it was Genesis system.
does Biyula do all of her work with maps and stuff in her room?
No,
Or
that
where
is
does she
all
do those?
in the common area. You have like one side of the common
Okay.
area is like a big map table.
So I think we
So
could
that
do like
everyone can have access to it.
the last couple hours before my shift every day. I would go just see that or help
Yeah,
with that
for sure.
anyway. But other than that,
Because I assume there's nothing you guys would specifically want left out. It's just all of the new stuff.
no.
you
We just
found.
haven't done like days of travel in a minute.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
felt like pretty quick. So I just wanted to, for my brain, reestablish all that everyone's working on.
Okay. Perception checks for everyone as you begin looking for the island.
19.
25.
Nat one.
13.
So did Threats. Got an that one.
We're so bad at like
Okay,
finding
okay.
the island.
Give me someone roll a D10, and
All
you need a 10 to find it.
7.
Oh, actually, I'm wrong. I forgot. You couldn't have found it because 2 of you crit failed technically, which is the thing. Whatever.
Didn't matter.
Okay, so you've been searching for 1 day. Everybody roll a D20. Whoever rolls the highest is when this happens. This happens on your shift.
Not 20.
19.
23.
7.
Just a flat
Just a flat roll.
D20
Oh.
roll.
13.
Okay, I was like 23. What fucking dice you got over there? So obviously nat 20.
For as bad as Ren
beats
rolls, that's a
19.
really good dice.
So Renister and Phosphorus are on shift, which
Hell
is 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll say this happens at 2 a.m. So your engineers are well and wet. Your navigator is Thress, and Archie's on watch/security. Why don't the two of you that are on shift roll perception? And I will roll for the crew.
Do I get a bonus for rolling a nat 20?
No. It's just a flat roll to see when stuff happens.
No, that's stupid.
Wait, is it a flat roll?
No.
This one?
No.
This is
I'm
perception.
talking about
Okay,
his
this
nat
one's
20.
perception.
Yes.
Unnatural 20.
24.
Archie spots it first because he rolled a nat 20.
Yeah.
He would. We'll say for the sake of obviously both of you rolling, you're both on deck for something, whatever reason. He'll get both of your attention and just kind of point out off to the port side, a little towards the bow. He points out, and you see a huge figure sitting atop a cloud, maybe like 1,000 feet away. Looks to be humanoid in nature, moving closer, like kind of heading towards your ship. As it gets a couple feet closer, we'll say it's an open sky in the moonlight. I'll give you like roughly what you see. Like I said, huge, 18 to 20 feet tall if it was standing, sitting cross-legged on like just a cloud that's like almost the size of your ship. Pastel blue skin, very bulky female figure, swirling clouds for hair, flowy white robe she's wearing. Like I said, she's sitting crisscross on this huge cloud. And in her lap, there's just like a smaller cloud that's clearly a storm cloud. It's dark, and every so often there's just like, you see like lightning ripple through it. And that is just coming towards your ship. And you see the figure like wave a hand and stop and just like raise a hand and wave it back and forth as just like to get attention or whatever.
I'll go get Diego.
All right. I'll tell Wells the pilot, right? Yeah.
I'd go
Wells the pilot.
to his quarters and knock on his door.
I'll just tell him to kind of bring us closer.
It's open.
I swing it up and like, there's a giant lady in the sky. I figure she seems to be waving in a non-threatening manner. I figure this is probably your forte.
I don't know how this could possibly be my forte, but
Talking to people?
is it even a people?
I mean, it's a giant woman.
I'm going.
Okay, fine. I'll
Would
go.
I
I'm
hear
giving
any of
Aimon.
this from my room. Or
And
not?
I would go to him next.
I'm gonna
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna cast fly so the person can actually see somebody.
What do you mean?
Well,
Can't
Car
see
deck.
anybody on the deck.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, someone cast fly and like fly out of the
Okay, I get what you're
smoke
saying. I was
cloud.
like, just casting fly doesn't mean that you can
I
be
cast fly on
seen.
the
I was
ship.
Confused. Okay. Yeah, that's how it works. There's like clear recognition once you come out, because as you said, there might have been a little confusion of like, is there anyone on that? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? She would approach, if that's okay. The cloud just like floats.
as long as she's not
closer.
being like threatening.
No,
Yeah.
sitting down, no weapons. You see now that as she gets closer, kind of like behind her a little bit, looks to be like a big, almost like another bit of cloud. It looks like, but it's almost like a sack. It almost looks like it looks pretty small, like even small for her size. All of you can come up as she approaches.
I would sit on Perrin.
I would do my fly thing.
Okay, so all of you can be seen and like get out from the ship.
Yeah.
Do you have fly prepared?
He can always cast it with his relic.
Well, fair enough.
Do you want to? You don't have to.
I'll fly up. Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Hello there.
Put my warm poncho on because now it's cold as shit
Yeah.
outside of the ship.
She says, "Hello. Why doesn't everyone roll perception?"
19.
Jesus, dude.
11.
13.
12.
Renister. She seems pretty nervous. Like not in really an alarming way. She just seems uncomfortable
Everything
in the
okay?
situation. Yeah, sure is. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. I just
I've
don't
heard
like
enough.
little people. I'm sorry. You guys make me very nervous.
It's fine. I don't either. We're not great.
Well, not like that. I just get worried. Like, what if I sneeze and she like just smacks the cloud and like it's a whole thing. I was told to deliver stuff to you, if that's okay.
To
Is this by another captain?
No. The Ravda. The Ravda.
Oh.
I am bringing you payment She like asks half as a question.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Cool. Me and them, we go way back. I found out you guys were at the place, but there was a lot of little people there, but then you guys left and caught the wind, so I had to catch up, but I kind of lost where you were and everything. So I'm sorry it took me so long.
She's speaking common?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the stuff in the bag.
Cool.
Awesome.
Can we just... How about we just go grab the stuff out of the bag? Is there
Please
anything
don't
else?
approach me.
Okay.
Can I roll the seed?
How are we supposed
She
to exchange
seems to be
the stuff?
forthcoming.
Yeah, I will roll secretly
Sure.
for all of you.
What are you rolling? Like society?
It is perception.
Perception.
Is like the catch-all for also insight type things. Yeah, to all of you, clearly very nervous. But she does seem pretty genuine in the fact that why she's nervous is she very much does not like being around little people.
Don't you have a thing, Phosphorus, where if she holds it, you can like bring it to yourself?
I can try to destroy a ship with it.
Oh, no, never mind.
It also kind of checks out running the numbers in your head. This is probably, just kidding. Why doesn't someone roll nature? Or you can roll esoteric
Is
lore.
this magic related?
No, it is not. It is identifying what she is related.
13.
She a creature?
Yeah, so you can roll your plus 15.
18.
Yeah.
22.
21.
Yeah, everyone but Renisteer. I mean, obviously, Renisteer, you know this is a giant of some form. And it's
Holy
probably
shit.
pretty clear that it's a cloud giant to all of you because it's like clouds are a big thing.
Big
But
and
all
cloud.
of you know cloud giants, for the most part, are pretty reclusive. That can manifest in a lot of ways. They can be reclusive because they view everything else as beneath them. Clearly, in this case, this cloud giant is reclusive because she gets very nervous around little people or something like that. They have strong ties to elemental things. The thing on her lap is probably an elemental, as you've seen it kind of shuffle every so often, this storm cloud. It checks out that's a creature like this could possibly know the Ravda. So enough stuff lines up that you feel comfortable that all of this checks out in your guys' brains. But she pulls out the sack and she opens it up and she kind of reaches in with two fingers and pulls out a brown and gold cloak made of heavy fabric. It's hanging completely still, carved of stone almost, it looks like, but it is fabric. It's like completely rigid. And she like reaches out, and it's like a long reach, but she just like waits for one of you to get it.
I'll grab it.
Okay. And then she pulls out a deep blue cloak whose edges shift from fabric into crashing waves, though the water very distinctly never drips or spills from the cloak. It's all self-contained. She does the same thing, holds it out. She'll do that for all four of these things.
I'll just like keep collecting them.
Then she pulls out, now this one's, you can't even see it at first. She pulls out, it doesn't even look like there's anything in her hands. And you don't see it until like she drops it into Diego's hand. It's a blueberry-sized glass bead with a bit of lava inside, it looks like. It's very small. And then the last thing she pulls out, again, all of these things are your guys' size, so they're very small for her, is a light blue hand fan depicting a sky dotted with fluffy white clouds when fully open. Do all of you know what a hand fan is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 6 glass beads on the bottom of the fan, one on each of the exposed ribs, the kind of like wood ribs that give it its structure. One side of those beads is white, the other is a dark, stormy gray. And on that hand fan is a bit of paper with some writing on it that says, "These items are imbued with the magic of the elemental wonders. Please accept them as thanks for your assistance." And then there is a brief explanation of what each of them can be used for, which I will give you in game terms, because I didn't feel like explaining in-world and then immediately explaining in-game mechanics. But she gives you all of those. And in doing this, she moves a bit, and you see the little storm cloud. It's probably like 6 feet around that's sitting in her lap, kind of get jostled around by her doing this movement. And it appears to like wake up, and you see like a face in it as it like looks to all of you. Just like in the dark gray cloud, there's like an opening, like a slot where there would be eyes. There's like no actual eyes, and then just like a mouth, and there's just like constant lightning clapping in there behind those like eye openings and mouth openings. And it almost looks like it sniffs. Doesn't look like there's a nose hole anywhere. And it gives like a and then it begins to float up and towards Aimon as it like does the sniffing thing. And this cloud giant woman is like, I'm sorry. Clap.
I don't mind. It can
Can we-
sniff my hand here.
Okay. Go for it.
I
Clap.
hold my hand out like it's a
Go
dog.
for it. Yeah. It sniffs your hand.
I'm going to look at it real quick. Would you be more comfortable if we were all bigger?
No.
Okay.
Speaking of which, how goes the Ravda?
I don't
Their
know.
plight.
I am Orla.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That is my name. I don't know if that matters.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Orla. I'm going to go back to the ship now so I don't drop these.
Yeah. She called it Clap.
Hello, Clap.
It comes up to you. It kind of does the thing where it
Trying to mask my absolute fear.
it sniffs your hand. Yeah, it's as big as you. It's a storm cloud that's as big as you. And then it does the thing where it kind of like rubs up on you, almost like an animal. And you feel like static shocks shooting through your arm. It doesn't hurt or anything.
Feels like home.
And then there's like a moment where it pauses and it looks at you, and a little bit of rain begins to trickle out like onto you. And she goes, Clap, please do not relieve yourself on the little ones.
Oh.
And
Shaking my
it
boot.
kind of stops and then like rubs on you again. It is just rain. For the
I'm also
record.
always damp.
Yeah. But she,
I'm
on
constantly
principle, is
pissed
not okay
on by
with
the
it.
elements.
And she says, Clap doesn't like little ones, so I apologize. I don't know why you're different. That's confusing.
Little's really an attitude when it comes down to it.
I don't know what that means, but I have fulfilled my end of the bargain. Again, she kind of says like a question.
Yeah.
You're good to
You
go.
did a great job.
Thank you. I hope I never see any of you ever again.
That's
That is
fine.
No offense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Clap, please. And it
Sorry, just a quick question. Have you seen anything dangerous around here at all?
for you guys, yes. Storms happen.
No, like creatures, though?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Safe
Yeah.
travels.
Clap will almost give like a sad look to you, Aimon, and then go back to her lap. And she
I wish
just
I had like a
floats
ball
away.
to throw or something.
So yeah.
You can throw a nimbus.
Chain lightning.
So you guys got 4 items.
Okay.
Based
I was
on the
gonna
elements.
Divvy these out based off what they say.
Well, they all can only be attuned to by Aimon because he is my favorite person, Taylor.
Oh.
Hey, main character. Main
so
character.
we'll start with the order you got.
I want
then.
all the cloaks.
There is the Earth Glide Cloak. I believe all of these. Oh no, I'm sorry. Only the 2 cloaks need to be invested to be used, which means like only one person can use them, which makes sense because you wear them. The Earth Glide Cloak, basically its main benefit is once per hour you can activate it with a 1-action interact action. The effect is you burrow through dirt or stone up to your land speed, leaving no tunnels or signs of your passing. If you end your movement inside solid stone, you are forcibly expelled to the nearest open area, taking 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 5 feet between the end of your movement and the open area. So it's basically a 1-action, no signs left behind, burrow through something. Then there is the Water Glide Cloak. It has a couple benefits. The first is that it grants you a swim speed equal to your land speed, just flat. Water Island. You can activate it with 2 actions that have the Concentrate and Manipulate traits. Once per hour, you can do this. The effect is for 1 minute. Anytime you make a strike, your weapon or unarmed attack gains the benefit of the Underwater Weapon property rune. The little bead, Phosphorus, one quick look at it. That is some pretty high-level time magic. That is, the blue glass bead is actually time magic. Yeah, in truth, the glass is a bubble of solidified time magic containing suspended lava at the exact point before a volcanic eruption. It is built to loop through time, reforming itself after it's used. It basically is like a reusable AoE attack. For 2 actions with the Concentrate and Manipulate traits, you fling the Eternal Eruption and it detonates as a fireball with a 20-foot burst, 15 d6 damage with a DC 21 basic reflex save where it lands. The toss can place the center of the fireball anywhere within 70 feet. After 2d4 hours, the Eternal Eruption reforms itself in a container on your person, typically the one you most recently stored it in. The last thing is a fan of soothing winds. One side of the beads is white. As I said, the other is a dark stormy gray. To use this fan's abilities, you flip one of the beads, and it stays on the use side until the next day, resetting overnight. So this reuses overnight. It has 6 uses. For 2 actions, you can use it to blow. The effect is you open your fan and turn a bead of your choice. I'll get to that. Turn a bead of your choice. The fan casts a 3-action heal spell with an area of a 30-foot cone instead of a 30-foot emanation. The save DC for an undead creature is 19. This spell gains the air trait. The rank of the spell depends on which bead you're turning. The first 2 beads cast a 6th rank heal. The center 2 cast a 5th rank heal. The last 2 cast a 4th rank heal. So essentially, it's a way to cast heal, a 3-action heal, which is just the number of, so it'd be 6d8, 5d8, or 4d8 in a 30-foot cone instead of a 30-foot emanation. 2 times at 6th rank, 5 times at 5th rank, 2 times at 6th rank, 2 times at 5th rank, 2 times at 4th rank per day.
Wow.
You guys can divvy them up however you want.
Who wants what?
It is worth noting the fan and the bead need to be held in a hand to be used.
It's probably not me.
Is there anything that could be useful for Magnus?
No.
Okay.
Fan might be useful for Diego to have, just so he can heal himself.
Yeah,
If
I was
need
going to say,
be.
handing healing to somebody besides me, I have more healing than I think we'll ever use.
Hey, Jack here in post. The guys discuss who's going to get what for a while here, so I'm just going to tell you what they decide on. Diego gets the Water Glide Cloak, as he benefits the most from gaining a swim speed equal to his land speed due to his already high movement. Aimon gets the Eternal Eruption, as he already has access to a ton of healing, but not as much access to AoE fire damage. Phosphorus gets the Fan of Soothing Winds, for essentially the inverse reason of Aimon. He has access to a ton of AoE fire damage, but no access to healing. And that leaves the Earthglide Cloak to Renistyr, who is always looking for more ways to get around the battlefield. So you have that cloak on now.
Yep.
And like I said, it is fabric. It's not heavier than a normal cloak, but it's like super rigid. It doesn't move unless it's like you actively like change.
Well, it says it's
position or
weighty.
stuff. I mean, it's not as heavy as stone. It is heavier
Gotcha.
than a normal cloak,
Like a weighted blanket.
but it's not like it doesn't affect the weight. Doesn't like affect you in any way. Is my point. It is worth noting their magical items. They would the 2 cloaks would like perfectly fit you once you invest in them in the morning. So they're like to your size. You're like the original Earthglide Cloak probably would have been a little small for you, but it would fit to your size.
Yeah, but I still wear a circlet, so who's better, really?
Yeah. It's a scarf now.
My circlet?
No. Well, yes.
No.
Okay, where the edges are water.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And with that wrapped up, let's get back to looking for the island. Why doesn't everyone give me a perception roll? And I will roll for the rest.
Good thing I'm going to get a nat 20.
Nat 20!
Nat 20 for me as well.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
2 nat 20s?
I just manifested it for other people, I guess.
Yeah.
30.
This is like the first time I've rolled over a 6 this session, though, so that's cool.
What did you get, Foster?
13.
Okay, what did you get?
23.
Can our ship actually float in water? Have we ever tested that?
Do I know if the ship can sit down in water?
Yeah, I mean, it can. I mean, you probably don't want it to just like sit and float because it's not built for buoyancy, but it can literally fly. So you can just hover right above the water or in the water. You know what I mean? So it's like,
That's so lame. We can't use it as an actual ship.
We can't.
Yeah, dude. You guys went from not being able to succeed on a roll to succeeding on a 5 or higher. So someone give me a D20 roll.
All right, you want me to roll?
Sure.
I think that's a 5.
You think?
Show it to Micah.
You're rolling a D10?
That is a 5.
Yeah.
That is in fact
Okay.
a 5.
So,
The 5, 6, and 9s all look very close to each other.
so on the hardest island, you guys find it in 2 days.
Yeah.
With the most ground to cover. Your luck finally pays out.
The God
Pays out.
Boys.
To be fair, you did go from only succeeding on an 11, which is impossible, to a 6-point swing of succeeding on a 5. You guys would let's roll to see who's on shift when the thing comes into view. When you first spot it.
Jesus, dude. Nat 1.
2.
15.
Okay, so Renistyr and Phosphorus are on shift.
Diego and I are just chilling below deck every
Yeah.
time.
You guys are. I lied. We don't have to roll for this. It would be Diego and Aimon. I'm sorry.
Dude,
I do the high five. And
I think we should get a
slap on
bonus
way
on the next
down
roll.
to
Because it'd be
Thress.
towards the end of the day. So it would be like around 10 p.m. and these two would be on shift. However, you guys can be up because it's close to when you're on shift. You don't have to roll for this. I am going to have everyone roll perception in a second, but not yet. So again, you guys hit a bit of a heat wave, temperature rising to the high 60s, low 70s over the course of a couple of hours. You spot the rain before anything else as a heavy rainstorm blankets the entire island. Aimon, clearly through the rain, you see a circular island about 8 miles from one side to the other, mostly water, with two small landmasses towards the south side of the island. You guys are approaching from the south.
Not again.
I don't mean to like
I
poke
wasn't
holes in
even
this
here
in a
for
way.
that season.
Or that's not what I'm like trying to do, but visually speaking, is it like a stone island, like a bowl of water? Or is it?
I'm almost there.
Yeah, because an island
Yes.
of water, I'm still just confused on.
Yes. So there's two small landmasses toward the south side of the island that just peek out of the water that you are approaching from. The landmasses resemble jagged summits of mountainous rock formations that probably stretch far down into the water below. The underbelly of the island stretches 2 miles down, most likely to make space for the depth of the water above it, and it is as wide at the bottom as it is at the top, giving the whole island a roughly cylindrical visual look. Due to the rain, the water is constantly overflowing from the side of the island, spilling off the side and kind of misting out into the air. That is what you see. I would assume you would call the other two up. Phosphorus and Diego? Diego and Aimon?
Yeah, I would go down.
Okay.
Guys, we're here.
Okay.
Might come as a little bit of a surprise because you're used to spending like 5 or 6 days looking for the islands.
I found it more quickly than expected.
While they're doing that, Aimon, why don't you roll a perception with a +4 circumstance because you can see through all of the rain.
I break out the old rice hat.
24.
24. God, I love it when you guys just meet DCs. Like, actually, it just feels good. So, as you come up, you kind of clock this island. You're a couple 1,000 feet away still. It's still pretty far away. As you kind of approach it a bit, why doesn't everyone roll perception?
Me again or no?
No, you have already succeeded.
Nat 20 again.
But just for the sake of Nat 20, cool.
19.
I'm wasting all these on fucking
Dude, I am
nonsense rolls.
so bad tonight.
I'm eating your luck.
I'm hoping it shifts.
What did you get, Diego?
13.
Okay, so Renister and Aimon, but I will note that Aimon sees everything more clearly because he can see through the rain. There's probably one thing that just Aimon sees.
That's right.
So you can't really see anything into the water except for Aimon. Aimon notes two things as you get closer towards the bottom of the water, because you can kind of just see through the water, right?
Yes.
If you focus towards the bottom of the water on the island's north side, so the opposite side you are approaching from, is a massive glowing blue light. Can't quite make out what it is. It's probably about a mile wide in all directions. It's huge. Again, unsure really what it is without kind of getting in the water and getting closer probably. And as I kind of alluded to, the mountainous rock formation kind of tips on the south side of the island do stretch all the way down to the bottom, taking up a good chunk of the south side underwater of the island.
I would just say that.
Cool.
Like, there's a huge blue light on the north side under the water.
Renister, you think you see a bit of movement on one of those peaks that are just kind of peeking up out of the water. I assume you'd notify Aimon, who can see clearly through the
Hey, what can
rain.
you see? What is? I saw movement on that ridge. Do you see anything with your
Maybe.
elf eyes?
You look and you see what looks to be a small black feathered bird perched atop one of the peaks.
Small black feathered bird.
It's wearing a gray plague doctor's mask with a small umbrella fashioned to the top of the mask to keep the bird mostly dry.
I found a little freak. We got to turn around.
Not the little freak.
And by small black feathered bird, I mean a literal small black feathered bird. Probably a raven if you had to guess.
Now, you might not believe me, Ren, but it looks like a blackbird, plague doctor mask, and umbrella to stay out of the way. That part makes sense.
The party has made it to the third and final island, and for once made good time doing so. What awaits them in the watery depths below What's going on with this strange masked bird? How will the party fare underwater? All of this and more, next time on Dying 5.
If you enjoyed today's episode, consider leaving us a review on whatever platform you listen on. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if anyone in your life just can't get enough tabletop RPG action, send them our way. If tabletops have taught me anything, it's that good stories become great ones when you have some folks to share them with. And as always, thanks for listening.